Hello, I'm David Kerr and you are watching Shalom World News. Here's your latest news headlines from around the globe. A group of young people in Ireland have launched a new campaign video aimed at reversing the Irish government's ban upon public masses. The prohibition on public worship was introduced last month under the pretext of fighting the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sacraments being denied to us. Events such as the BLM marches.
This is the video that's been produced by the We Need Worship campaign. It highlights the fact that the Irish government presently permits sporting events, international travel, retail and attendance at school, while public masses remain banned. This, say campaigners, is against the Irish constitution. They also say it ignores the fact that, according to the Irish government's own data, very few outbreaks of COVID-19 have been associated with places of worship. The new video comes in the wake of a legal challenge to that ban brought by the Anglo-Irish businessman Declan Ganley. He submitted his case to the High Court in Dublin earlier this month. A historic Catholic church in the Swedish city of Gothenburg has been vandalised. The attack upon the Church of Christ the King took place on November the 13th. The culprit or culprits stripped the altar, overturned the pulpit, threw chairs and hymnals off the sanctuary and destroyed a plaque and wreath to the dead. The parish priest, Father Tobias Unerstal, described the vandalism to local media as, quote, nasty. So far, no perpetrators have been identified. A Catholic diocese in Pakistan has hosted a public seminar aimed at combating the increase in abductions, forced conversions and child marriages of Christian girls and women across the Asian country. The event took place last Friday in the city of Karachi and was organised by the charitable wing of the local diocese, Caritas Karachi, and the Catholic Women's Organisation. One of the keynote speakers was the High Court lawyer Tabussum Yusuf. She recently represented a 13-year-old Christian girl, Arzu Raja, who was rescued from both forced conversion and forced marriage to a 44-year-old Muslim man who had abducted her from her family. Mrs. Yusuf claimed that the abduction of an individual for the purpose of forced marriage was possibly the most widespread reported crime against women in Pakistan. In terms of preventing such crimes, Mrs. Yusuf suggested that girls memorise the cell phone numbers of their parents and siblings. She also advised mothers to spend time with their daughters in order to befriend them and patiently listen to their problems before addressing them with love, care and respect. The United States' most senior diplomat has had an audience with Orthodox Christianity's most senior cleric. The meeting between the US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and the Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople Bartholomew I took place in the Turkish capital of Istanbul on Tuesday. During 90 minutes of discussion, the two men covered several topics including human rights, religious liberty and current religious persecutions. Following the meeting, Mr. Pompeo tweeted that, quote, as leader of the Orthodox world, the Ecumenical Patriarch is a key partner as we continue to champion religious freedom around the globe. While in Turkey, Mr. Pompeo also held talks with the Holy See's nuncio to Turkey, Turkmenistan and Azerbaijan, Archbishop Paul Fitzpatrick Russell. Secretary of State Pompeo is on an official 10-day tour to 7 nations in Europe and in Asia, including France, Turkey, Georgia and Israel. The church in Belgium is reporting an increased number of people attending Sunday Mass. Each year, parishes across the country take a snapshot of attendance on the third Sunday of October. The latest figures for 2019 show an increase of over 2,000 compared to the previous year. Meanwhile, the year-on-year figure for Christmas Masses is up by 42,000. That trend also corresponds to a rise in the number of adults being baptised from 143 in 2010 to more than 300 in 2020. However, the figures for infant baptisms, weddings, funerals, First Holy Communions and confirmations between 2018 and 2019 all recorded a decline. Staying with statistics, and there's been an increase in the number of places around the world hosting Eucharistic adoration upon the Solemnity of Christ the King, which takes place this weekend. For the past few years, the organisers of the International Eucharistic Congress have also organised a global day of Eucharistic adoration to coincide with the Feast of Christ the King. Last year, 1,118 locations in 54 countries signed up. This year, over 2,600 venues have already been registered worldwide. The International Eucharistic Congress is a one-week event which has been held regularly since 1881 to celebrate the real presence of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist. The 52nd such Congress takes place in the Hungarian capital of Budapest from the 5th to the 12th of September. Local Archbishop Cardinal Peter Erdo welcomed the increase in interest in Eucharistic adoration globally, stating that Christ is with us in a special way in the celebration of the Eucharist and in the Blessed Sacrament adored outside the Holy Mass. Finally, the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops has a new General Secretary. He's Monsignor Jeffrey Burrell of the Diocese of La Crosse in Wisconsin. The General Secretary is the Chief Administrator of the USCCB and oversees its work on behalf of the US bishops. Monsignor Burrell was elected by the bishops during their fall gathering this week. His term of office is 5 years. The meeting of the bishops was held virtually due to COVID-19 restrictions. Monsignor Burrell succeeds Monsignor Brian Bransfield of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, who served in the post of General Secretary from 2015. Meanwhile, Archbishop Timothy Brolio of the Archdiocese of the Military Services was re-elected for a second 3-year term as Secretary of the USCCB. Elsewhere, the bishops also elected a whole host of other committee chairmen. Cardinal Timothy Dolan of New York is to be the chairman of the Committee for Religious Liberty. Archbishop William Lawry of Baltimore has been elected as the chairman of the Committee on Pro-Life Activities. Bishop Michael Barber of Oakland was elected as the chairman of the Committee on Catholic Education. Bishop Robert Reed, an auxiliary bishop of Boston, will serve as the chairman of the Committee for Communications and president of the Catholic TV network. Bishop Arturo Cepeda, auxiliary bishop of Detroit, has been elected as the chairman of the Committee on Cultural Diversity in the Church. Bishop Daniel Flores of Brownsville was elected as the chairman of the Committee on Doctrine. And finally, Bishop James Wall of Gallup will now serve as the chairman of the National Collections Committee. There you go, now you know. Good luck and God bless to all of them. Well, that's all for now. Do join me next time for some more news from around the globe. Until then, may God bless you. Shalom.